Welcome back, Royal Family. My name is Louis, and let's get right into this information. So, really quickly, I want you guys to understand something really quick. So, as of 2025, 861 million users worldwide use cryptocurrency, okay? And I want you guys to understand, if you're here right now listening to this information, you're ahead of the curve of millions of billions of people. This number is skewed because I know myself, I have at least at least five accounts that hold crypto. So my point with this is you are ahead of most of the world, okay? So hats off to you, okay? And thank you guys for paying attention to something other than the big bold news headlines. You know what I mean? But basically, US Americans, basically with 28% of adults owning crypto. And you have to understand that this number is skewed because people own multiple wallets, multiple accounts. So, okay, hats off to you. Now let's get into this information I have for you guys. I should have gave this to you guys on Monday, but basically this is a major week, and next week is a major week. So basically, as you guys can see here, July 8th is a consumer data report, which was yesterday. Today is July 9th. So we have the FOMC meeting, and they basically talk about the Fed's 2%. They talk about if it's going to lean hawkish or whatnot. It's basically about the central banks and stuff. We also have the key hearing for the Senate Banking Committee, okay? Digital asset tax policy on July 9th as well. And then we have July 10th here, initial jobless claims. And I find this real interesting because it's happening ahead of crypto week, okay? So right here is crypto week, okay? July 14th, so next Monday coming up. And basically, remember, if you guys want this information, I do post it on my DX account. I also have other information there, but it's basically at the King Louis. So if you guys want to follow me and look at some of these articles and read them yourself, remember, always do your own research. Don't believe anything I say in this stuff. I'm just here to give information. Sometimes I'm biased, sometimes I'm not. I try not to lean one way or the other, okay? But moving on, let's get into this. So basically, Trump Truth Social files for a blue chip crypto ETF, including XRP. So basically what I think the blue chip means is the cryptocurrencies that are actually being used and utilized and people trust. You know what I mean? So basically, the investment vehicle will comprise approximately 70% BTC, 15% of ETH, 8% Solana, 5% Crow, and 2% XRP. If approved, it would be one of the first funds with such weight distribution, offering a new dynamic into for potential investors. So basically, this is pretty crazy. You know, Trump's doing a lot of things. His family, his organization, his whole cabinet, he's a businessman. You know what I mean? So I don't think even if he is president, the people who he's aligned with are going to miss these opportunities. You know, it doesn't make sense. He's a billionaire. He's a businessman. He's not going to miss these major business opportunities, right? So okay. I'm not going to talk about the war particularly, okay? But you have to remember, these people do not let bad situations go to waste, okay? I don't have a dog in this fight. But the key takeaway that I want us to look at here is the whole idea of, you know, the proposal to sell Gaza land via crypto tokens. Okay, of course it's met with backlash, you know, but you have to understand they got to put this stuff in people's ear first. Okay, now when we're talking about tokenization, it covers so many channels that I don't think people are aware of, even myself, you know. So like, you'll have two separate things for your land. You'll have a token for the land, and then you'll have a token for the house, which are two separate things, but those commodities are put onto the blockchain. That money is put onto the blockchain. What do you think is going to happen to the blockchain or the infrastructure that holds these assets? They're going to go up, especially when you start talking about blockchain technology and having land with tokens, like tokenizing land that we live on. Pretty soon they're going to be tokenizing air, right? Anyways, okay, let's get to the next article I have for y'all. All right, so yes, today is probably going to be centered around tokenization because I want people to understand how much value there is in the world. So basically, BioSig StreamEx targets gold tokenization with 1.1 billion financing. So this is nothing new. People have been trying to tokenize gold for a while. We have some companies that have done it already. It's just not in the main eye of people right now. Okay, but basically it's happened. It's going to continue happening. And gold is like one of those precious assets that you're going to start with first. You know, if you get anything tokenized, gold should be the first thing you get tokenized. Everyone likes gold. You know what I mean? Some people don't care about no big ass mansion, but some people, most people care about gold. But basically, check this out. We covered this yesterday in the last episode we had, but basically you can pay attention to what's happening to the gold tokenization market. But as we can see here, it's moving up. Okay, it's moving up. Of course, it's going to have its pullbacks, but this is nothing compared to when we talk about the overall market. 1.5 billion, 1.62. Really. So read this article, see how much there's actually in the world, like the market and stuff like that. But you get into the whole idea of paper gold and real gold. With blockchain technology, I don't think you're going to be able to do the paper so much. You need the real asset. This asset needs to be held somewhere. So yes, we're moving into a different structure. And like I said earlier, if you guys are here listening to this video, you guys are ahead of most people. And that's good. Hats off to you. These are boring conversations, okay? Projective Finance opens 7 million on-chain lending pool for Illinois solar project. Again, blockchain technology is going to be amazing. But basically, they focus a platform. It uses Avalanche to tokenize municipal loans, okay? Giving DeFi investors direct exposure to government-backed renewable energy infrastructure. So this is amazing. So this is a chart of how it works, and blockchain technology gives you all this information, and it's access to anyone, especially if it's DeFi. Okay, they have the private ones too, but basically real world assets and finance platform. So basically the biggest thing I want you guys to see here is, hold on, what does he say? There was a quote by the person that's leading this. However, thousands of shovel. No. But basically, it talks about like the transparency of what's happening. But here's a chart. You can see that energy is actually growing. Okay, shares that are generated and stuff like that. That this whole idea of world resources and stuff like that. It's one of those things where I want to find what he said real quick. Hold on. But basically, the transparency about it right here. By leveraging blockchain technology, what are traditionally required multiple intermediaries to fund structures. Remember, it would take multiple people to sign off and do this and do that and go through this bank and that bank. With minimal investment and tens of millions, it can now be accessed directly with full transparency. So if you take some money out of these accounts and you're setting, you're building these solar farms or solar capacity, whatever it is, then they can see what you're actually doing in the real world. You know what I mean? So I love this. We're moving into something that's great. No more of that BS. Like they said, full transparency. If you're getting money from the government and we're paying you for this, then we should know what's happening with our money, period. All right, again, tokenization. I think today's episode is just going to be tokenization, because we have to understand. Now, this is a different form of tokenization, offering a private stock as a crypto token. So Robinhood is basically, the CEO wants thousands of private companies to tokenize on their platform. So basically, yes, even stocks as we know it. You know, the old world is slowly being pushed out the door. This reminds me of I think it's HBO, but it's called American Gods. But basically, whatever we give energy to is what's going to end up staying around. And this cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, we're putting so much thought and effort into this stuff that this is going to be the new paradigm for most people. Okay, so read these articles. Again, they're posted on my page. So if you guys want to check them out, you guys can go there. Circle and AKX launched zero fee for USDC conversions. So this is amazing. Okay, so remember, like I said before, we're not ready. We need the interoperability. All these networks need to be able to communicate with each other. and be able to move money seamlessly. Okay, period. So this is a step towards the future. This is better. Okay, and Circle is huge. Okay, the stablecoin market is huge. That's how it's going to work when you have some of these assets, when you have a house, when you have land, when you have a stock, when you have this. If you want to take some money out, you do it through the blockchain. Okay, you do it through the blockchain seamlessly, instantly, instead of going through all these people to sign off on what you need. Okay, which is BYOB, be your own bank. Okay, and they're working towards that type of system now. Some people are gonna get caught in the middle of it. Okay, the 15-minute cities, the UBI, some people will be caught in it. Not you guys, because you're here, you're listening to this information, you're becoming aware of what's happening in the world. You're not just sitting back and watching this stuff happen. Okay, let's move on. Because I don't think I need to beat this into you guys. For the new streamers and new people here, and the new people who are getting into this, like, yes, understand this. All right, Ripple picks BYN Melon to back RL USD stablecoin. Now this is breaking, all right, y'all. This just came out today, okay, as you can see here. But this is amazing. Okay, so Ripple has partnered with BYN Melon to custody reserves for stablecoin RLUSD. RLUSD has surpassed 500 million market cap in just 7 months after launch. So basically, when we talk about tokenization, this is what you need. You need your stablecoin to be backed by real world assets. So when you do go and make that transfer, say someone wants to sell their damn house, you get me, or put it on the blockchain, but take some cash out. Well, that house goes into a smart contract. You take out a loan against it. You get this money right away. You can do whatever you want with it, but you still, through that smart contract, have an obligation to pay a certain amount a month. Okay? Understand what's happening. All this stuff is together, from smart contracts to CBDCs, stable coins, to tokenization, to real world assets. All of it has to be working together. Okay? Moving on. So basically, this is great because the House hearing, we just talked about it earlier, but I'm gonna go down to this part right here, and this is amazing. So basically, they talk about 0% capital gains. I don't know if that'll ever happen. That'd be amazing. But basically, what Senator Loomis proposed is basically any transaction under $300 per day or something like that is non-taxable. Okay, and if you do the math on that, that's about $8,400 a month that you can get away with. So that's good, especially if you become a millionaire off this stuff. You don't need to live off millions. You can live off $5,000 a month. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys. That's all I have for you guys today. I love y'all. Remember, keep your crowns on. Your mind is your crown. Peace.